Humans spend billions of dollars every year to pack their bags, leave their daily routines, and drop themselves into entirely unfamiliar environments. At home, you are protected by a routine safety net, a subconscious web of known routes and trusted neighbors. But when we travel, we sever these spatial defenses, entering a vacuum where we lack the local knowledge to identify threats. This video will analyze 4 true travel horror case studies to show how opportunistic predators exploit the specific ways a traveler becomes displaced. These stories show leaving home is more than a change of scenery. It's a loss of the everyday systems keeping us from being easy targets. The first vulnerability is the trap of isolation. This is illustrated by a husband and wife who rented a secluded cabin in the woods, separated from other houses by dense tree lines. During their stay, they noticed clothes had been moved and heard pacing at night. They rationalized these events away, assuming that because they were alone on the property, they were safe from intruders. On their final night, the husband checked the basement. He discovered a man in a red hat standing perfectly still in the corner. The intruder had been living in the house with them. Isolated rentals lack the casual surveillance of a hotel staff or nearby neighbors. This gives a predator the uninterrupted time needed to enter and occupy a space without being noticed. This creates a paradox. The absolute privacy travelers pay for can actually prevent them from being rescued or receiving help if an intruder is inside. This dense jungle sits immediately next to a 5-star resort beach in Costa Rica. It shows how closely unmanaged wilderness borders even curated vacation spaces. A couple staying here was watched from the bushes while in a hot tub and tracked down a dark path by someone making guttural buzzing noises. Later, a man pretending to be an employee took their photograph and immediately disappeared. The stalker used the resort's layout to monitor the couple for days. It culminated in the boyfriend waking up to see a silhouette on their patio, taking pictures of them through the screen door. High-end amenities often mask the fact that resorts are transient spaces. Predators can use the constant flow of new guests to stay on site and hunt in plain sight without being recognized as outsiders. When a driver crashed his car during a late-night detour in Pennsylvania, he was left on a foggy road with no cell service or visibility. He was approached by an older couple in a truck who behaved aggressively and smelled foul. Despite these clear warning signs, he stayed with them because he was stranded and needed a tow. As the woman crowded the driver toward the back of the truck, a third man emerged from under a tarp holding a knife. In a familiar environment, the driver likely would have avoided people this aggressive. However, the immediate need to fix his car and leave the road led him to ignore his intuition. Predators in these transit corridors don't always need to chase their victims. They simply wait for the environment to leave a traveler helpless and more willing to trust a stranger. This beach in Key West offers no cover or defensive barriers. A couple was lying here at night when 4 strangers stood directly over them. The group stood uncomfortably close, smiling and offering strange compliments. Even as the strangers began to physically crowd them, the couple remained on the ground. They assumed this was a prank or weird locals until the group launched a coordinated physical attack. The couple only escaped after the boyfriend managed to kick one of the attackers, allowing them to run back to their hotel. This timeline compares a standard reaction to a threat against the delayed response often seen in travelers. The expectation of safety in a beautiful setting creates a lag in how quickly we identify real danger. A picturesque setting can act as a distraction. It makes public spaces feel like a shield for the traveler, when they are actually a tool for a predator to get close without raising an alarm. These stories show that threats on the road don't always hide in the dark. They rely on the fact that travelers are often disoriented, isolated, or expecting everyone to be friendly. While the goal of travel is to relax, unfamiliar spaces actually require more vigilance than our daily routines at home. Staying safe requires keeping a deliberate watch on your surroundings, even when the environment suggests you are on a getaway. Whether you are at a 5-star resort or a quiet rental, if a situation feels wrong, it is necessary to act immediately. Breaking a social contract or being rude is a small price to pay for security. Acknowledging that your vulnerability increases the moment you leave home is an essential part of making sure a vacation stays safe.